Hello, everybody. I am Andrew Melton, and I'm not here to talk at you. Thank you. Yes, you're welcome. But we actually have some of our students. You got to talk with Mrs. Palmer and Mrs. Nickerson and Mrs. Rahanick, and then Darren Rahanick talked at you a bunch this morning. Now we're going to get a chance to hear from our students as they come on up here. We believe it's important that you get their perspective, not just our perspective. But obviously, we work here and we love being here. But you want to know if the people who are here love being here as well. So we're going to let them answer some questions. And if, as you're listening, if you have your own questions, make sure to write those down or plug them away in your mind, because we'll have a few minutes at the end for you to ask some questions of these fine students as we transition here into hearing kind of a student's perspective on Heartland Christian College. All right, so now that we're all here, let's start with some introductions. Give us your name, what program you are a part of here, where you're from, and an interesting fact you think someone might not know about you.
My name is Joshua Lopez. I'm a second-year student here at the college. The concentration that I'm doing is worship arts. Something interesting that you might not know. I lived in 3 different states and 2 different countries. Born in California, lived in Missouri most of my life, lived in Florida for a little bit, and Mexico, the country. So.
Yeah, not Mexico, Missouri.
Hello, my name is Dalu Say, or just Dalu, or just Da. Doesn't really matter. but I concentrate on education. Well, I'm a first-year student. I concentrate on education, and I was born in Thailand, but I grew up in San Antonio, Texas. So San Antonio, Texas is where I call my home. But something interesting about me, not to brag, but you know, I did do an early college in high school, so I got my associates in liberal arts before I even got my high school diploma.
Okay, alrighty. So my name is Leah Robbins. I've been in Heartland for about almost 17 years now. And here at HCC, I'm studying education. And something interesting about me is that I was able to go to Brazil about 1.5 years ago. So that was super neat. Yeah.
My name's Ariana Mays. I've lived here most of my life. I'm doing the 1-year biblical certificate here at Heartland Christian College. And something interesting about me, well, I lived for 5 weeks in Ghana, which some of you know, a lot of you know, with my family, Ghana, Africa. So.
There's no Ghana, Missouri. Just to clarify.
No Ghana, Missouri.
My name is Gabby Correa. Gabby, just Gabby. Yeah, don't try to say Correa. Not Korea. But yes, I'm from Colombia, the country. I am a second-year student here, and I'm doing the missions concentration. I'm getting ready to graduate in May, so that's very exciting. What else did you say? Something interesting? I don't have very many things. I did the chicken dance once right here, wearing a chicken suit because Darren made me.
You enjoyed it. It was
that
fun.
that was very fun. And yes, my dad is a pastor, and he's been with my mom, like my parents have been coming here to missions conference for many years now. So that's how I got connected to Heartland, and I've been coming here since I was like 7 years old. Yep.
All right. Now, since coming to Heartland Christian College, what is something that surprised you about life as a student that you didn't expect to find in the middle of a cornfield?
I'll go first, right?
Yeah. Go for
Let's do
it.
it.
You
Well,
got the microphone.
yeah, but I think I did not grow up in Heartland. So, but before I got to Heartland, I did see a lot of, pictures and videos of it on Instagram or Facebook. And at first I was like, man, I'm not really feeling this, because it's like, it was a little small. Yeah, I grew up in a city, right? So everywhere I look, there was something, right? But here, everywhere I look, there's a lot of trees and water. But when I came here, what surprised me the most was the beautiful just community, the beautiful nature and the sunset and the lake of it. Because I like to walk a lot, so coming here, when I walked, it was like my peace place. You know, when I walked and the breeze of the wind and the sunset and just the water waves, it brings out God's creation, and that's what I really like about here.
There's a lot of geese. I don't like geese, but there's a lot. There's everywhere. And yeah, since you guys know well, I knew Heartland before, and I had been here before. And my best friend had moved from Columbia to here, and she did Bible college here. So I knew many things about college before I came myself. But I didn't know that we had a student council. So that was a thing that I found out, and I also found out that they need an international student. So I had to be part of it at first, and now I think this semester this year I've been the vice president. So that's been cool. So yeah, that's something I didn't know, but I'm a part of.
Very good. Now, this is preview day, and you come, and we talk about all sorts of stuff, but we don't get to see what like a day in the life of a student is. So would you mind sharing what it's like, just from morning to evening, what does a day look like for a Heartland Christian College student?
So for me in particular, I wake up like 6:45ish, and we just get ready for the day, do a small devotion, all the things, and then we come to school. I come a bit early at 7:45, mostly because I need a ride from Emmy, and she comes at 7:45. So that's therefore when I come. And so then we just do whatever we need to do to get ready for class, and then we have class for about 3 hours, 2.5 hours-ish, and then we have on Mondays, we have either shepherd groups, which is you might have already heard about this, which is our group where we meet with a leader, one of our leaders at the college. Or we have like prayer Mondays, all those things. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have chapel, and Wednesdays we have Thrive, which is either a fun activity or a class or homework time, whatever we need it to be. And then we have lunch all together as a college. And for me in particular, after lunch, I go to work. Some people go to work, some people go back to the house, and they do homework and things like that. And then I get off of work, and I do some homework or make dinner, all the things. Just do kind of some, I do workout generally in the afternoon, the evenings, at least right now. Those things change sometimes. And so that's kind of my alone time, you get that time. And then we hang out sometimes by watching a movie or just making food together. We do that quite a bit as well. And then I get ready for bed. Don't forget, I do the chore. We don't forget doing the chore. And then we go to bed. And then, that's my day.
All right. So she said she woke up at 6:45. Yeah, that's too early for me. I don't do that. I'm not a morning person. I usually wake up really late, 7:30, somewhere there. But I do get there on time, just ish. You know what I'm saying? But more important thing that you guys must know before I do go to class, I make my bed. I clean my room, make my room ready
Amen.
For when a unexpected room inspection comes. But of course, I already kind of said about what we kind of did in school already. Class, and then you got if it's a Monday, you have usually prayer, or then you got Tuesday and Thursday chapel, and then you got Wednesday Thrive, and then lunch, right? But after that, me personally, I don't work, so I do the most perfect thing a dude that doesn't work do is take a nap, right? Yeah, we love that, right? We love that. Sometimes most of the time I take a nap. If I don't take a nap, I have readings and homeworks and stuff like that. But I do, after that, I do like to, do some sort of exercise, whether that's working out or walking around or playing basketball or anything like that. I just, want to keep my body active and still ongoing, right? But after that, during nighttime, I usually just read, do homework, all those things, talk to the guys, watch a movie or anything like that. You know, just hang out with the guys then and go to sleep on time.
We here at Heartland
On
Christian
time.
College believe in honesty, and naps are spiritual. Amen.
Yes.
Jesus
Jesus
napped
took
in
a
the
nap.
boat. Elijah had a nap before going up the mountain. The disciples fell asleep praying in the Garden of Gethsemane. No, wait, not that one. Not that one. Sorry. Not all naps, but some naps. Some level of naps are appropriate. Speaking of spiritual things, what is a class that has impacted you the most and why?
For me, obviously all the Bible classes are important. Bible study is of utmost important as a Christian, but I would say for me specifically, I would say speech. Because all through high school, I would just not do any presentations. I would just take the F or just like be absent that day. So I had never challenged myself in that way. So being in speech, having to do like these, I don't know what they would call them, like speech drills every single day. Like you would have a random subject, and Miss Palmer would make you just do a speech arguing why apple or orange is the best fruit to eat. So that helped, although it was uncomfortable. And now
here you are.
I'm speaking here right now.
Good job.
Still uncomfortable, but doing it.
Yeah, well, I'm more on the Bible side of things. My favorite class is Ephesians with Mr. Darren. That was my favorite class. That's my favorite epistle, and we got to like go through the whole, like every single chapter of Ephesians and what it means to us today, how it impacts our lives, and still today is something that still impacting me. And also, I'm a very visual learner, and that's a class that has a ton of projects. And so that was my favorite part. It was super fun. We got to do a bunch of different things. I got to draw something. I wrote a poem, and then I dressed up as a Colombian farmer. It was really fun. So yeah, you'll get to do presentations and stuff, and that's very like fun for me. It keeps it dynamic, and I feel like that was my favorite class. And yeah.
So my favorite class, which I just took, I think last block, was Worldviews with Mr. Rahanek. So one of the classes, Worldviews, is kind of where you learn like why you think the way you do and like basing how you live off of the Bible. Growing up in a Christian community for basically my whole life, it's been easy to just do the right things and just believe what my parents have told me to. Because that's just what I've been taught. But in this class, we first went to the Bible because that's supposed to be our source of truth. And we're just discovering, okay, why do I believe that? And just with the world and everything, how do I respond to certain situations? And yeah, so that was just really impactful for me.
Very good. Now, does anyone have a funny story from class or a memorable moment?
I have one. I don't remember if it was speech communications or college comp or speech. I think it was speech. It was speech. But we had this exercise/game where we went around the class, and I think we were doing a nursery rhyme, so we would each have to say like a chunk of the nursery rhyme, but we couldn't say But every single time without fail, I would say and I would try so hard. I'm like, I'm not gonna say every single time, and it would restart to the first person. So I think Emmy was the first person that it restarted to, so I felt bad for her. It's funny.
So mine happened about it was just last block as well. I took the intro to worship ministry class, and during that you have to build the tabernacle, as some of you may know. It was a wonderful experience. We had lots of fun building the tabernacle. So it's like you have to build the tabernacle to scale and do all like the details and things like that. If you want to see it, might be sitting on the desk back there still. It's really cool. You should look at it. But it was a fun experience. We did definitely have some more complicated times where we had a few slight arguments, because when you get 5 people doing a project together, there tends to be a few arguments about measurements and things like that. But we got to spend our nights here. We ordered pizza, all the things. So that was just fun. And even some of the detail work, even though it seemed tedious, was like fun sometimes. Gabby made a cow out of clay, and Emmy painted the cow, and it looked very realistic. And so, yeah. And so that was fun.
All right. Now, Dalu, you mentioned you went to a college before. Can you speak to what community at Heartland Christian College is compared to other college experiences that you've experienced?
I will. All right. So I mentioned that I went to, I took, the program, the early college program. I didn't just have to do online classes, but I also had to go to the college that I was in, which was a community college, right? And I think the difference between or a secular, because it was a secular college, right? A secular and Heartland is that I would say the most difference is the relationship that I have built here than in a community college. Because at that college, you hear the typical, just show up and you'll be good, just do the work and you'll be good, just all those things on typical colleges. But they don't let you slide right here. They make you talk, they make you interact. They made me talk when I didn't know anybody. But yeah, they bring out the relationship out of you. You really get to know your teachers, not just as a teacher, but as a friend as well. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I also did the college classes before coming to Christian College, and I did 2 full years of college online. And there's a really big difference of doing online classes versus doing in-person classes. Number one, it's very, very incredibly easy to procrastinate when you're doing online colleges. You're like, well, I can all of that's due on Sunday night. So I can start it at 8, it's due at midnight, I'll start it at 8. I'll do the lecture, the discussion board, and the assignment all at 8. And that was very tiring, number one. Number two, I didn't go to bed on time, so then I had to wake up in the morning and was dead. Also, it was very difficult you felt like you were alone doing the classes. You don't have, number one, you don't have your teacher there. So if you have questions, it's kind of harder to communicate with them because you have to email them all your questions and all things. And I'm a big question asker, so it was kind of more difficult. Number two, you don't have really have classmates that you're with. And having classmates makes a big difference in class. Number one, it just makes it more fun, feels more lively. And number two, you never know, your classmate might ask a question that you didn't even think to ask, but once they ask it, you're like, oh yeah, I didn't know that either. It was a good thing that they asked that because that makes a lot more sense now. And it's just really helpful, so, yeah.
Very good. Now, Darren talked about how the church moving forward is going to need a lot of active people working within the churches to be the church together. And so here at Heartland Christian College, what ways have you been able to learn and grow in serving within a church, but also within a community, and what's the impact of that for you?
I'll give a little background of, before coming to Heartland, I was part of what you would call a mega church. It was around 1,000 people. When I would go to church, I would go to that church. So it was really easy to just slip in and out, kind of just be a spectator of the preaching and the worship, and just being here, being able to be on worship team, do cameras, and just be part of the family of God that He's called us to be has really helped me and see church in a new way. So.
Also, we have a servanthood class. So for my first year, I had just moved here, and the first thing that we have to do is an individual service project. So that is what helped me understand, I'm part of this community and I have to be intentional on reaching out to people and asking, hey, do you need help? Where can I go? How can I help? You can go to the C-store, to the missions house. They always need some volunteering people. And then just to people's houses, that really was something that helped me build more relationships, be more confident with people around here, and understand that I'm not only part of this college, not only part of the church, but also the community. So yeah, that was one of.
So not only do we do servanthood and serving the church, but we talk about shepherd groups. Okay. How is shepherd groups an important part of your part here at Heartland Christian College?
Oh, they're looking at me, so I gotta go first.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, you're in my shepherd group. You're ready to say some nice things.
Yeah,
right now, Lou.
he's Mr. Melvin right here is my shepherd group leader. So that means I have to say something positive in front of him.
Not too positive.
Oh,
Make
not
them
too
believe
positive?
It. Make them believe
Oh,
it.
okay,
Thank
for
you.
sure. But I think shepherd group leader for me has been really impactful for me because I didn't grow up in Heartland. I didn't grow up with like biblical studies, you know, growing up like that. I had like Sunday school, but it wasn't as deep, you know. We didn't teach any deep theology stuff, but I think Mr. Mountain here, my shepherd group leader, really impacted me a lot when you know, when I had a lot of questions, because I am a question person, but I don't ask the question in class. You know what I'm saying? I go to him. Cause I don't know why. I'm nervous to ask questions in class. But I take all my questions to Mr. Melton, and he just pours everything out back to me. You know, whether those questions are politically, economically, spiritually, educationally, or even sometimes like animes or like movies or something like that. You know what I'm saying? He just talks to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how he impacts me a lot here, because he talks to me. He, you know, gives me the answers that maybe that I don't want, but that I need. And he's just, you know, always here to be with me when, you know, I need something. And that's why he's so cool.
Something I have to add on to that, like every individual of the staff and all of our teachers really do care about all of us. And Shepherd Group is a big like way in which we can get to know each and every one of our staffs, but particularly one who we're assigned to. And so Dalu, I think he's only with Mr. Melton. Like he's the only one in that group. But I have the opportunity to have Gabby in my group, which is amazing because not only am I getting to know my leader, but I'm getting to see Gabby. I'm getting to hear about things that God's talking to her about, how she's doing academically, what things are making her happy, or even just struggles and ways that I can pray for her. So in that aspect, that's taking kind of college from just being academic to also helping us grow in our relationship with God and with other people. So it's just honestly an amazing like thing that we're able to do to really like share life and to build each other up and to pray for each other and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
That is good. Amen. Now, tell what shepherd groups, you always have someone that can help you. But Darren mentioned he can't spell. So what if you need a paper and you're having trouble? What kind of things does Heartland Christian College provide? I know we're a small college. What do we do that can help students as academically, not just personally, but also in their classes? What kind of helps do we offer?
Yeah. Well, you guys went to the library and heard Ms. Nickerson. She is the chief librarian, and she introduced you a little bit to the library. We have a bunch of resources available, books, articles, and not only physical, but we have access to a billion thingies online and links and ProQuest, EBSCO, and a bunch of stuff. I think the Shilbino Library, I think we also have access to. Which is pretty cool. That is very helpful when you're struggling with not knowing what resources to use for your paper or for a certain topic. You just go look that up, and that's very helpful. The people around you, the people that you're going to class with, you can ask questions to them. There's always going to be a second-year student that's ahead of you, and that can also help you with whatever questions you have with the classes that maybe they've already taken. All of your teachers, your shepherd group, whoever, whatever staff available, they're always available to like answer your questions, or if they don't know their answers, they're gonna refer you to someone who does. And yeah, so if you need like proofread your papers, you can go to Ms. Nickerson, Mr. Melton also proofreads.
As long as it's not for my class, I can't help you write a paper for me. Yeah. But other than that, I'm more than willing to help.
So like I said, I'm a big question asker, and it's really nice to have the teachers that I can just ask them questions during class, after class, breaks, all the things in the middle of the day or whatever. It really helps me when I was writing my Ephesians paper for my Ephesians class. I was like very like, I have so much things I want to talk about in this paper. Like, how do I like narrow it down and put it in order of like how the paper should go? And Mr. Hannick really helped me out with that, and I got to ask him those questions. So they're always available to answer your questions and help you through your class. So.
All right. Now, Darren did talk about why Bible college, but I want to hear from you guys. why do you think Bible college is important? Why is it a valuable experience?
I think you're going to hear this time and time again, but I think there's something to be said about setting apart 2 years of your life to get that biblical foundation. A lot of people think that coming to Bible college, like I've heard this so many times, like you go to Bible college to be a minister or you go to Bible college to be in ministry, which can be true, but there's many people that have come here and done all different kinds of jobs. But before you go out into the quote-unquote real world, it's good to have that biblical foundation to know that God that you say you believe in. And not only that, walking with peers, but walking with people that have walked with God, with maybe 3 times the amount of life that you have lived. So I think that's very important.
For me, yeah, it was really a lot about the biblical foundation because I'm just doing the year and just wanted to do the Bible classes and things like that. And I already have an associate's degree and I want to go be a pediatrician and a doctor and things. So you would be like, why are you going to go to Bible college when you have 8 years of school still left ahead of you? All the things like Mr. Rahanic said. And I grew up in, like a lot of you, I grew up in church and I grew up even in Heartland Community. So I had Bible classes in high school and middle school and elementary and all the things. And so it's really easy to think I have that biblical foundation. Like I got it. It's good. I don't need any more. But I really felt like God called me here and it really just like surprised me how much I still needed to know and how much like, especially like in classes like worldviews and all those things, like you learn how to see the world through the Bible. You learn how to have the Bible as your standard and just it helps you, prepares you to make decisions in the future about saying no to things or saying that's what God's called me to do, that's what I'm supposed to do next, all the things. And I really just wanted that in place in my life before I went to a secular college and they taught me all those things that like I'd be like, maybe I don't believe in that. Or when I went and worked in the medical field and there's lots of everything in the medical field, I'm gonna have to work with lots of people that I don't necessarily share the same worldview with, but I can recognize that and I have the biblical foundation to discipline me in that, so.
All right, so you convinced them all they should come to Bible college. And they're coming next fall. What is some advice you would give them to say next fall, make sure you understand or you do this?
Practically, go to bed on time. It really does help.
Amen.
There's a curfew for a reason. It really does help. Also, make sure to find that time just to like quiet your brain and just not think about schoolwork or my job or all the things, but just like let God bring you peace. Like whether that be just like alone time or just something, an activity that doesn't involve homework or something like that, just for like a small time of the day, just to like not overload your brain all the time, because I tend to overload my brain, and so it's really helpful to have that time.
First year is usually less homework load. Don't procrastinate on that, because if you start doing that, then it's just going to get worse every single time. And then your second year, you're going to have a bunch of other homework, and then you're going to regret having procrastinated a bunch. So I think that's my biggest thing, something I regret. So yeah, don't procrastinate. And like living wise, just be around people and make sure that you're intentional with making relationships and not take for granted the people that are around you. That's very important, because these relationships that you form here, these during the time that you're here, are going to be for life and eternity. So yep.
One last thing I want to tag on that. So Josh was kind of saying that like you probably or may not get the opportunity to like completely spend 2 years really digging into the Word of God and really like developing a relationship with Him. So that being said, like I'd encourage you guys, if you come here, give it your all. Like, I mean, I'm a first-year student, and there's already some classes I took last semester, and I'm like, wow, I could have studied more. I could have paid more attention, because, like, man, I really wish, like, I would have learned more in that, because it really interests me now. So, like, whether that's in, like, academically in all of your classes, like, pay attention, take notes. Like, God speaks to so many of our staff, and, like, what they're saying, like, it's stuff that we need to hear and like stuff that can really help us in our relationship with God. So in every one of your classes, like pay attention, try to be engaged as much as possible. And then when we have chapels, like it can be so easy to have a bad day, to be super tired and be like, oh my goodness, why are we still singing this song? This is taking forever. Or wow, like I'm not getting anything out of this lesson. I mean, this message, which isn't actually true. But like there are moments when like you're just not feeling it. But like despite that, God deserves our praise. He deserves our honor. So like our praise and how we worship him should not be dependent on how many hours of sleep you got last night. So little things like that, like truly give it your all, because like he's going to reward you for that. So yeah.
All right, so they're convinced, they're equipped for next fall. We also got some parents or some leaders in the room who are like, I don't know if I should send them. What would you say to parents or people who are helping guide or counsel young people? Why should you encourage them to allow or send their kids to come to Heartland Christian College?
Okay, so why should you guys as parents bring your kids here, right? I would say, just bring them. But more honestly, I think that Heartland Christian College is not just academically, spiritually thing that you come here and learn, but it's also something that can, help your kids, the students here grow up to, be a husband or a wife, or to just be a person that follows God in everything that they do. Whether that's dressing formally, or whether that's speaking to a person, or whether that's, just walking in the faith of God. It's just when you come here, it's not just spiritually, academically things, but it's more than that. It's life things. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I would say that it's like, parents, sometimes where you're like, well, my kid doesn't know how to cook. How are they going to survive? They're not going to be able to eat food. Like, what in the world? But they really do take really good care of us here. They make sure to know where we are so that, like, we don't end up in a ditch somewhere and then no one knows where we are. We can't call anybody. They'll find us. They know where we are. And it's actually, it sounds like when you first come, you're like, really? Like, do I have to sign out on a board? But it really is, like, good, not just for the people in charge and all the things, but it's also good for your friends and stuff like that, because you're like, we worry about each other. We live in the same house, and we're like, well, where'd this person go? They just disappeared, and we don't know where they went. But so it's like really safe, and even if they don't know how to cook, we take care of each other. Miss Anna makes sure we don't burn the house down, all the things, and she
they
teaches.
will make
and
you
she-
cook during
Yes.
orientation.
And they teach us, like, Miss Anna definitely has taught me several things about how to cook, because I wasn't the best at it either in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie. And so they do take really good care of us, the staff, and yeah.
All right, now we're going to get to some of the spiritual questions. What is a time or a moment where God really stretched you or challenged you?
Okay, I'll go. I feel like, okay, well, during chapels is like the most common time. I'm not saying that we're used to it, because it's a wonderful time. But my favorite times is usually orientation, specifically fall orientation. It's super tiring because we're doing activities all the time and we're with everyone all the time, which can be overwhelming for like a whole entire week. But it's super fun. We go places, we do games, we pray for each other, we have worship times. And that moment really sets you up for the semester, and it helps you. It just gives you like energy and really like recharges you to go into the school year. And I think that's my favorite one. God really speaks to you, and that's gonna just keep happening throughout the year. But orientation is a really good place to start. That's my favorite one.
The thing that has definitely challenged me most in being in college is leading chapels. So one good thing though is like you're assigned a staff, and they're the ones who are going to help you, like help hear from God for you, and just kind of make sure just to keep you on track and stuff. But anyway, so what that looks like is like you are the one who you're opening the service, you're you're welcoming people, praying, opening with a verse, and then like we have worship, and then you're the one doing like the message, which is a lot of pressure. Like first of all, like you're not only standing and speaking in front of a bunch of people, but like you're really having to think through and like pray and ask God, what is it that you want me to show these people? What is it that they need to hear from you? And that's just a lot of responsibility. But like obviously God is going to get you through that. And so yeah, that's been difficult. Every single time I do it, I feel like I should be less nervous than the last time, but that's not true. But yeah.
I would like to tag on to the
Go
chapel
for
thing
it.
real quick. With what Leah said, it is very challenging, but also it is a very large area of growth here at Bible College. Like, I was very intense, not intensely, but like I was kind of really scared of public speaking or speaking in front of people because I grew up in a small school where I did presentations in front of my 3 classmates, and that was it. And I knew my classmates, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I've really grown in my confidence and ability to speak in front of people and just my ability to hear God with that, because you're having that focus time of what do you want me to say? And it just becomes easier and easier. So it really does, leading chapels really does grow you a lot, and it's becomes less and less challenging and all the things. So.
Back to that speech class, being ready in season, out of season. Now, how is the person sitting here today, after going through those challenging moments, different than the person who came in however many semesters ago that was?
I would say a little bit of more background of myself. Originally, I came to Heartland through the Recovery Center. So the change between before then and coming to the Recovery Center is black and white. But just being used to having all this time to, you don't get a phone over there, you don't get internet access. You have there's so much time to just study the Bible, pray, and you go to Bible classes. You have chapel every morning. But then coming to college and then having to go to school, going to work, having all these responsibilities, having access to the internet and phone and all these things, I really had to be intentional about setting aside that time. I couldn't live off yesterday's prayer. I couldn't live off yesterday's experience with God. I had to truly be present in the moment. And just as a Christian in general, the more you grow in God, the more you grow to understand that you truly need Him. And I know that more today than I did yesterday. So.
Yeah. For me, you guys, as I told you, I'm a pastor's kid, so grew up in church. I gave my life to Jesus at around 15 years old. But I feel like the difference between me then and me today is that I'm way more confident in my personal faith, way more confident in my own walk with God. And I'm super excited about serving Jesus, and I'm very, very confident in that I want to give my whole life to Him and serve Him in whatever I do the rest of my life. So it's something that I'm more confident to say today than I was before coming here. So I think that's a process that I went through Bible college, and that really helped me understand how much I need a relationship with Jesus and how important it is to keep Him in the center of everything I do.
Amen. Last question, then we're going to open it up for your questions. So it's your last warning if you to think about a question you want to ask these wonderful students here. But if you could start college all over again, would you still choose HCC, and why?
Yes. I would do it all over again. I know that God was the one who called me here. He said, "You're supposed to go." I came. And I understand that that is because this was what was best for me at that point in my life. And if I was able to go back, I feel like I wouldn't choose going anywhere else, because I don't feel like I would be serving the Lord the same as I'm doing it right now. So I feel like if I could choose that again, I would, because that would save me a lot of trouble and tears. So I'm glad that I came here.
If I had the opportunity, like if I was given that same chance that I was last year when I started, I would definitely come to HCC again. Kind of as Gabby was saying, like I'm not the same person I was before I came. Before I came, I was really like relying on myself and like I didn't really want to involve other people in my life, and but through being at Bible college, not only have I been learning like about God, about just His character, His attributes, His nature, kind of the can that Darren was talking about earlier, but like I've truly like learned who God is and how He views me, and out of that, how I'm supposed to view those around me. And like also, as we were talking about shepherd groups, like now I've been like involving other people in my life and have been like listening to counsel and like knowing that I'm not here alone and that there's people who love me, there's people who support me, and yeah, so I definitely 1000% would do it again.
You got anything, Dalu?
Sure. Wait, that wasn't my answer. Okay, that wasn't my answer. From how it looks like it, yes, that's my answer. Well, it's like, let me add on a little bit. It's like, so of course, from you guys, you expect a yes from us, and yes, okay, that's the answer. But I like it and I would do it all over again because I had many opportunities to do a lot of things. While I was a senior, I had scholarships. The scholarships are still emailing me right now to see if they want to use it. Nah, bro, I'm good. But I would definitely, because I could have done a lot of things, right, when I was a senior, but I didn't. Like, out of all those opportunities, I didn't know what to do. My mind was blank. And then the person that came here, that dude right there, the dude graduating, he's my youth pastor. He came, talked to me about, Heartland, and then my mind was just full of Heartland after, he told me about Heartland, and I was like, that's just God telling me that I should come in, and that's just God filling my mind with what the future holds for me. So if I were to do it again, I most definitely do it again.
Amen. All right, now you've had time. Questions from the audience. Raise your hand nice and high, and I'll bring a microphone to you. Or if you're confident, you can project it. Like Darren said, just say it out there. Questions for our wonderful student panel.
Well, on the weekends, I either do homework or I go shopping a lot too on the weekends. We all go shopping a lot. My best advice, take people with you when you go shopping instead of them telling you what they need. Just take them with you because then you don't have to individually pay like 5 different things at Walmart and then bring them back their receipts. They can just come with you and then it'll be a fun experience. So that's what we do on the weekends. We obviously on Sunday we have church, and then after church I generally go to my grandparents' house and have lunch and stuff. And so on the weekends we just hang out. Some of us work, some of us, we cook lunch together sometimes. And one time during the weekend we'll have a house meal at the girls' house, and so that's where 2 people of the girls, we rotate, 2 people will make the dinner, and then we'll all eat dinner together. And it's like on no phones, like we just sit and we talk and we have good conversation and eat food. So
Sometimes Miss Anna will also extend our lights out a little bit so we can watch a movie. So we can do that. Or sometimes just before lights out, we can watch a movie on the weekend. So that's fun.
and sometimes we just decide to go do something fun somewhere.
Or we do worship nights at the house and stuff. Yeah.
Think for the guys, well, for me, I don't work, so nothing. No, I do. Man, I love the weekends, especially Saturday. Y'all didn't see that, right? Especially Saturday, because man, I sleep in. I'm waking up, and they already had lunch and everything. But on the weekend, I do reading, do need to do things that I need to do, like homework or laundry or those type of things. And if I don't have anything to do, I usually go bother somebody. I go bother this dude. Like if he's not working, I'm calling him and then I'm just saying random things to him. Or if he is working, I just go and I just bother him. As life.
some friends are there to sanctify you through life. Dalu's one of those friends. Other questions?
Student council.
Like, how do you get on student council? Well, it depends on how many people we have, because sometimes how many is it? Five? Five. Yeah, so if just five people want to do it, we wouldn't vote. But if there's more people, we do hold a little speech thingies, and the people that are wanting to run, they do a little speech on why they want to be on student council. We have a president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, a student student rep. So yeah, we decide on fun nights. So we do like activities, like we go out to do, like, we play volleyball. We've gone places. We're planning on one to go to the zoo. What else have we done? We've done trivia nights. We've done, yeah, fun stuff. We do fun stuff. We usually have two, yes, and then a semester. And we also we plan the chili supper. So if you guys have heard about the fundraiser, we plan that for our college missions fund. So we're in charge of that. And yes, I think that's pretty much it. Yes, there will usually have to be at least one international student in the student council. So there will.
There has to be one international student, a first-year student, and second-year student, and there has to be both a guy and a girl, at least one of each.
Yeah.
And we meet once a month, generally speaking. And then we talk about all those things. We are, essentially, the student council's purpose is the communication between the students and the staff and, like, the council, like the whatever that's called, that runs the college. I don't know the name of it. But yeah, so we're the communication between the two, and so that's just what we do.
All right, we're running out of time here, so if you do have a question, Dalu can answer it for you. So feel free to corner him, and he would love to tell you anything. But at the last minute here, I'll give an open mic to our student panel. Is there anything you want to finish off and say to our lovely guests before we wrap up the student panel?
I'll say something. I mean, this was unexpected, so. But I'll say one thing that I just want to kind of leave it off with, that, you know, we're glad that you're here, of course, but also think about Heartland as just not just as a spiritually thing, but as a life thing as well. You know what I'm saying?
And sorry, Gabby. Okay, so a lot of you are getting ready to like graduate, or you're about to go up in a grade closer. But I mean, it's a big question on what are you going to do next. And if that's something that like you're struggling with, or like you're completely overwhelmed with, I really don't know what to do. What better thing to do than to come to a place where you're going to be listening to God and be listening to leaders, because God will direct you in your next steps in life. So I'd really encourage you. Come here, and yeah.
Yeah. If you guys love Jesus, this is a great place to surround yourself with people that also love Jesus and are going for him. That's very encouraging, to know that you're not alone in your walk, that you have people that are going right there beside you. That's very important to have, and that's not only for your time here, but you're going to take that with you. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I just kind of want to add on to like what we were talking about earlier about like the why Bible college situation. It really does prepare you for life no matter what, even especially if you, so like Leah talked about how if you don't know, it would be good to come to Bible college because you practice hearing God and he would help you decide that. But if you do know, like I knew what I wanted to do before I came to Bible college, like I said, it really does prepare you for that. And it's not like, oh, I've gone to Bible college, now I'm going to be a pastor, which is a great and awesome thing to do. But you could be there's a quote on the video thing from Caleb Barton, who is a sheriff's deputy now. You could be a sheriff's deputy and still go to college and have it still impact your life and prepare you for that. So, yeah.
I would say that God is everywhere. He's not just in Northeast Missouri, but if you're serious about your walk with God, I would say take a moment and really pray about where he wants you to be. And if you're here right now, then maybe this is where he wants you to be. So.
Amen. Well, thank you, student panel. Let's give them a round of applause.